You are now listening to the number one podcast.
You have been digitally interrupted.
Mr. I am digital.
All right, so we are back for another episode of Digitally Interrupted. And this week, we have a viral sensation, art teacher, philanthropist. I'm just playing. We have here Lindsay Zampach. Zampach, right? All right. Zampach. So, first of all, we're just gonna say the video was amazing. I'm gonna ask because I know a lot of people are gonna ask, was it fake?
No.
All right, cool. Let me just get that question right out the way. So we'll just get that one right out the way because I know that's gonna be like, because when you told me you was a theater teacher, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I was like, that was a good one. That was a good one. But then I was like, nah. I was like, I'm playing it. I was just like, I've seen so many videos like that. And that one, I don't know what it was. It was just like, this one was just like, I don't know. Like, it's just the fact that you wasn't so caught off guard, but you was just like, well, if I can't beat him, I'll just join him.
Guys, where'd you go? What's going on? What is happening? What is this a TikTok? Are y'all doing a TikTok right now? Okay. All I think about is you, even when with my boo. Love it.
And that's how it is. So how it got started, my students, I just finished the instruction for the day, and Lucy, my cat's about to make an appearance. Just to let you know, there she is. And you're not gonna get. She wants to burn herself. She wants to. This is live for you, everybody. This is my life, never a dull moment. Anyway, there she is, on top of the. Anyway, what happened was, I'd given them their instruction, and then we were done for the day. And the students that you saw in there with their cameras on, those are the only students that wanted to have their cameras on. There were other students there, but they didn't want to show their faces. And so I'm just sitting around. I'm like, all right, y'all got some tea? Because we always like to spill the tea at the end of the day when we're done talking about stuff for class. Who's got this gossip? Who wants to complain about this and that? And nobody wanted to say anything. I was like, y'all want to do a TikTok? Yeah, we want to do a TikTok. I'm like, okay, I want to do a TikTok. My son says, and I said, okay, all right, well, what do y'all want to do? And all of a sudden the music starts playing. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, where'd you go? What's going on? And then I realized the song because I had seen it from, is it Grubbs? It's another viral TikToker who did it with his professor. And I just liked it like the week before. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I realized, wait a minute, this is Dilemma by Nail. Oh my gosh, are y'all doing a TikTok? Is this the TikTok?
Right. No, that was like the funny because I'm sitting, I'm like, yo, she hasn't caught on yet. And I'm sitting and I'm looking like, damn, she hasn't caught on yet. Because I actually saw it on Twitter, actually. So I didn't even see it on TikTok or Instagram. It went viral on Twitter.
I'm not even Twitter.
Yeah, so when I seen it, I was like, hold on. So anytime I see something on TikTok, they have the name. So I went on TikTok and I was like, oh wow, it had like 15 million views, I believe, at the point where I got it, seen it, and I was like, all right, let me see if it's really, really viral. Because things that go viral on TikTok today, like they're just kind of like it goes viral on TikTok. But once it hits Twitter and then the Instagram, and then, Facebook, it just keeps going. I know Facebook is a little bit different because of the students and they like to protect the privacy of minors and stuff like that. But Twitter and Instagram, it's all game. Like there is no hold bar, nothing. So just let you know you're on Twitter.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And the Snapgram and the Instabook.
Right. So you're all over the place. So, is this like, so, I mean, now there's like a newfound fame, right? So how has it been since, you've gone viral? Like what has happened now?
Okay, well, first of all, I can't even comprehend It's like you're telling me something and it's not computing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not understanding the lividity of it. And so, but the thing that I do comprehend is my inbox. Like my phone is slow at times because I'm trying to load everything and I can't load the messages just yet. And just the amount of people reaching out, hey, this was awesome. And oh, that was so cool. And this, that, and the third. That's been the most overwhelming part because what is overwhelming is the love. Awesome. I guess. I guess. This is all about teaching in a pandemic. You're home. I am busy. Go downstairs. I'm so hungry. Go downstairs. You'll have dinner in just a little bit. Go downstairs. Go downstairs. Go downstairs. Thank you. Anyway,
It's the life though. This is like the new norm, the new life. So before the pandemic, like describe what school and teaching. How long have you been teaching actually?
so I've been teaching for 14 years.
Okay.
I was actually teaching before I even got my degree. I did an internship in Minnesota, and for an actor educators community business called Climb Theater, and that's when I started teaching. So it's been about 14 years now.
Nice. And how so now how long have you been at this school specifically? How long you been there?
I've been there. This is my 5th year.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And within the 5 years, now you've been about what's I want to say what about 13 almost 12 months. No, almost 12 months now. It's been now since you've been having to do the teaching or out of school now. So
Yes.
yeah, so describe how teaching before to now, like what's specifically that caught you off guard, not caught you off guard, but now that you've immediately seen has changed. Like, is it behaviors? Is it just the attention span? Like, what has changed dramatically from then to now for you?
All of it. But the main thing is the mental health of my students. One of the great things about me being a fine arts teacher, one of those special courses, I have such a rapport with my students that not a lot of Common Core teachers have the opportunity to achieve. And because I spend more quality time, I can create my own curriculum. I'm not mandated by SOLs. They don't have to take an SOL exam for me. So I get to spend quality time. If they're having a day where they have so much loaded onto their plate and they just want to talk about it, then I can do that. I don't have to do an exam. I don't have to do what I have planned for my lesson. And that it's okay. It's okay to do that. Now, the thing is, yes, they have that rapport with me. So I get from them firsthand what they're telling me in their mental health, and they're telling me they are not okay.
Right.
They are
Right.
not okay. They, the fact that, I mean, okay, let's just be honest.
Hmm?
Those of us who went to college, we never took 7 courses online in our house without able to see our friends.
Right.
We weren't able to see our friends. We weren't able to go and hug people. We weren't able to go out and just let loose. And well, some people are doing that and they shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
anyway,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know, our teenagers are not able to do that. Our teenagers, our middle schoolers, our elementary school kids, their world has completely changed. And we honestly don't know what that is like. Us as adults, we can get in our car and we can drive.
Right.
And us as teachers, we can adjust, we can adapt. Initially we were allowed to go into the building,
Okay.
and then we've just started bringing students back. Sometimes we're home, sometimes we're not. These kids have been home this whole time.
Right.
And you think about, I mean, cabin fever at the max, right?
Yep. I know. I don't. I definitely know. I have my children are actually in homeschool. I'm home. Full time with one, and I just the behavior just kind of is a big difference. And it's like the hyper. I think it's the hyperactive ones that are like going through it the worst. The ones that love
Yes.
to be outside. The ones that love to run around. when they, and I can only imagine, like, I'm in film school right now, and I don't want to sit in front of my computer for a 2 hour lecture, and I'm looking at it like, and I'm a whole adult, so
Right.
8 hours, and I mean, do your students get a lot of breaks, like in between their classes, or do they get some, none?
They do get breaks. We are only required to teach a certain amount of time in these classes. So, for example, let's say we're on block scheduling. Let's say, for example, one of their classes is an hour and 50 minutes long, and we only teach 40 minutes of that. They have the rest of the time to do their work or any makeup work from another class. Now, I think one of the challenging things for our students that they're still learning is how to self discipline, how to time manage. And I think that's gotten away from some of them, how to manage your time well, because you don't have anybody there saying, okay, turn it in. Okay, are you done with this?
What grade do you teach?
I teach 9 through 12.
You got the teenagers. Yeah, those I can imagine those. You know what is that? When we talk about, I just want to kind of go back to the mental health factor, because I believe that's the most important part of this whole pandemic and teaching. If you can say, because we're not saying no names, is there any one specific maybe story that came across your email, maybe from one of your students, that may have like made you realize, like, wow, this is actually worse than what we make it seem like?
So I had a particular student lose their brother to suicide. Um, and these kids tell me anything and everything, which is a wonderful thing to have, but it's also very burdensome because it's hard to not carry that home. And so she lost her brother to, I'm sorry, hold on one second. Boys, please be quiet. Thank you. Um, to suicide. And she was having a very hard time logging on to class. And then she fell into a depression, hard to get up in the morning, um, hard to wake up, hard to get dressed, hard to just go through life. And that right there, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? You can't hug them. You can't, I want to come through the computer. I tell my kids every single year, when you're on my roster, you're not my kid. I'm gonna fight for you even when you can't fight for yourself. And they feel like they can come into my room and they can be at home and be at peace. And I'm their theater mom. Some of them call me mama. Um, and so it's very upsetting to me when I hear that from one of my babies and I can't hug them and I can't
That's
be there for them.
that's so deep, because I know I heard that from a lot of teachers. I actually have a lot of teacher friends who are actually going through that same, mental breakdown, where it's like you want to be there but you can't, and it's only but so much that words on an email or a text message can do. Um, if there was something that you could, I know that we're in a bad space right now, as America in general, with this whole pandemic. Like, if there was something that you can change, you know, as far as like the way you guys interact with your students right now, what would that be for you? Like, what would help you right now if you can change something?
If I had the ability to change,
Hmm.
can I invent the technology as well?
Yeah, you could do, hey, whatever it takes, like whatever it takes to help students better. Like, what would you change?
um, I think it's so difficult to answer that question because I want to be there. I mean, if we could get them to where we are safely without the chance of them catching the virus, or because that's the main scare right now. A lot of my students' parents don't have the proper health care, so they're scared of getting the virus. And I, if there was a way, put them all in little glass cubicles and bring them into the classroom. I don't know, but that's what is missing. They're missing that in-person interaction, a sense of normalcy. is what they're missing. And so tying this all back around, that just snippet, that 60 seconds of interaction or however long that video is that you guys have seen, that gave them somewhat of a bit of normalcy. And that helped them, even for as small of a time as it was, that helped them give them some joy that they've been lacking, that they don't get in their other classes. So yeah, there's some I mean, some of the people were right in their comments. They're like, I'd be waking up on time for that class. And that's exactly what they are in the lobby waiting for me to start class.
Nice. Wow. That's really, really deep. I know that one child that actually had me cracking up. I think he had the parappa the rapper in the lower left corner. I was like, yo, I did not catch that until like I seen it. I was like, no, he did not bring out parappa the rapper. I was like, because it made me laugh because I'm like, it's so much older than them. Like they don't even nobody's really had to see parappa the rapper on PlayStation or nothing like, and it was so funny to me because I actually thought it was a real person, and then I'm like, who had the time? Was that like a still? Somebody caught it or?
I went back to the recording after I saw the comments and people were like, he's going so fast. And I didn't even realize that my student had the plushie, had him in the camera. Like I thought,
Right.
dang, he's going real fast down there.
Right, right.
But I was just taking it all in and it was just a great time. And then I went back to the recording and I slowed it down and I paused it. And I filmed that second one and I uploaded it onto my Instagram and to TikTok to show everybody, no, it wasn't a little kid going Zoom.
Right. It was really
being thrown from the room. He
Right.
had the
Rapper
parappa,
the
yeah.
rapper. Yeah, that was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So now like what do you see as the future of teaching now? Like what do you foresee for the future? Like what you think is gonna be like?
I definitely foresee us continuing to use virtual teaching in some shape or form, at least until a couple years, because we're not going to put this much change and this much time and effort and energy into trying to normalize teaching virtually
Right.
without keeping it around. Um, but what I have shown in my specific field, because people have said, how do you teach acting over over the computer? I've been able to prove that that can be done.
Right.
And so I adapt.
Right, exactly. And
And that's all you can do.
yeah, and I think people actually I think like an elective class is actually easier to teach because it's such an open forum where there's no pressure required. You're not really unless you're reading a script or you're writing stuff down. I don't know how you do it, but I know when I had cultural arts back in high school or elementary school, it was kind of like we'll read a script. We have a little we have a little circle. We all say something about the day. It's just kind of one of those it's about a self-expression when it comes down to it. So I can see that you really give your students that open forum to be like, hey, be yourself. Don't be me. Don't be just be yourself. Um and so for people that don't know, like where are you? What city are you in? Because we know you're in Virginia. So
Yeah, I'm in Roanoke, Virginia.
okay, so how are the cases like down there right now? Like how is it going for you guys down there?
As far as I know, they're not climbing,
Hmm.
but they're not dropping.
Right. Right.
Um, and I could be misspeaking right now, but I don't know the exact numbers. But as far as people are talking and things like that, I mean, we just got all the teachers just got vaccinated, and
That's why I keep talking. Keep on.
no, all the teachers just got vaccinated, and so things seem to be doing okay as of right
Okay. And so what has been besides being there? Oh my God, what is wrong with this light? I've never
now.
had this
You know,
problem.
you're
Like,
good.
I just don't understand what's going on with this light today. But so besides being there for them, what do you miss the most about being in the building? Like, what is it that you miss in that building that you like instead of besides the stage? Because you know you're theater teacher. So what do you miss? Because I know the first thing like the stage. No, can't tell me that. That's an easy one. Nope. Gotta give me something different.
And it's not even a stage.
Oh, well then there you go. See?
It's not because so I have two theater. I'm very grateful. I have two theater spaces. I have
Okay.
the main stage that seats over 400 seats, and then I have my black box theater, which that's where my office is inside my black box theater. That's where
Okay.
my classroom is. That's where my
Mhm.
kids come in. Well, like I said, the teachers, we've been teaching from home and going into the building, but the kids have been home. So we've been teaching from
Ah,
our
okay.
offices in our classrooms
Gotcha.
through the computer to them. But what I miss about everyone being in the building is just that.
Okay.
I miss, which we got a glimpse of it this past Monday and today. We started hybrid. So we brought back, I think it was about 600 students this week out of 1,700. And just to see them in the hallway and just to see familiar faces and get to smile at that, well, with our eyes. Can you tell?
Right, right. I was gonna say, yeah, yeah, right. You gotta smile with your eyes nowadays.
Like,
Yep.
promise me I'm smiling. Um, but yeah, being able to see them in person and interact with them um, is the biggest thing. You don't realize how much value you place on something until it's not.
So it's not that right, right, right. And sorry, but so now that you guys have gone, you're viral on TikTok. Now that you guys are all enjoying this, are your kids asking to do TikToks a lot more now that they've seen like what has happened?
So we did, bless you. We actually did one this morning, but what we did was I read them the comments. We just, we kind of, it's going to have to be a part one and two, but I just uploaded a part one where we just did a reflection. And I told them, we're going to do a reflection on your performance. That's our lesson plan today. To get away with it. And so we talked about, okay, so what did you think? What did you think about the responses that you received from this? Because I tagged them in it and everybody's going to their pages. Um, and that was hilarious. Just them realizing what people took from it, you know. Um, so they're like, yeah, Mizzy, I got this many followers now. You're to my page. And
Yeah, I mean, like that was I just know for them it's just a moment to be able to enjoy something with their teacher because it's rare that we actually see students interact with their teachers like that, And the pranks have been getting better and better though. Like I must admit, like the pranks have been getting better and better because the kids are being able to be more creative now. So like they're figuring out how to they're figuring it all out, and I'm loving it. So I wanted to ask like a deeper question though. How do you feel teachers are being treated now? Like as far as like with the virus, like how do you feel like do you feel like teachers are getting what they deserve, or do you feel like they could be treated better? With the whole way that districts are handling the school system right now, like how do you feel like teachers are being treated correctly, or could they be doing better for teachers?
so that's a really good question with many layers to it. At the beginning of all of this, I felt like from the community, there was, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how important my teacher was until now. I've got to be one. Where parents had to stay home with their kids and they had to do the virtual teaching, and they're like, I'm not a teacher. I didn't go to school to be a teacher, and bless my teacher. I'm going to give her extra presents this year, and this, that, and the third, and really praising teachers. We went from that to now teachers feeling like they are underappreciated. Now we're feeling like we are expected to be the circus animals and we're being poked to perform. And it's our fault if the audience is not happy with the performance of the circus animals. It just, which it's not. And we've been bending over backwards. And our administration personally at my school has done everything they can to try to adhere to the COVID guidelines and then try to make sure that the kids are being taken care of, but at the same time, trying to make sure that the teachers are being taken care of. There's just so many things being thrown at them. However, I I can't honestly tell you where it's coming from, but we feel like there's so much expected of us and we can barely keep up. We're like in a sinking sand trying to get our nose out just to breathe. And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. You can only do what you can do. But then when I see comments from parents from this video, initially at the beginning of this interview, and I said that's what was overwhelming with the love that I'm feeling from this, then it brings it all back and it's so worth it what we're doing, because the parents that say, oh my goodness, you know, if my student had a teacher like this, they would be on cloud nine. And then I've had parents actually say they have a teacher, one of their favorite teachers that has done this, that, and the third. And then other people saying, I remember that one teacher I had in school that, you know, took time for me and didn't take themselves so seriously and was raw and real. It's all of that that just really brings it all together and makes what I do the best job ever. Like it just,
Yeah, I mean, I can. I mean, if I'm speaking for everybody that's listening and watching, I think we can like see it, we can hear it in your voice. Like you really actually love what you do, because you know, we always hear about those teachers that just come and do their job and go home, you
uh,
know, and and we hear about it all the time. You know, the ones, and now I feel like the pandemic is actually exposing those teachers a lot more, because it's just kind of like, well, if I don't have to, I don't want to. You know, I don't need to. You know, if I don't gotta wake up, if I don't have to go to the building, I don't want to go. You know, and it sucks because you know, for me, I literally just started a non for profit during the pandemic, and it's to teach photography and videography. You know, and I'm trying to figure out like how the hell do I bring these kids around without, you know, with all these COVID guidelines, and it's hard, and I hate it because I'm like, I can't teach you photography and video over video. Like I can only teach you so much, but the equipment is here,
right.
so you got to get it in your hands. All right. See, I think I know the problem, but I'm gonna address that problem when I get off here. Cause me and little man gonna have to talk, cause he's just jumping around like, and he's rocking the rooms. So it's like he's just like Spider Man in there. But no, but so no, what I was saying was you know, I'm like, the equipment is here, like, you know, you got to get it in your hands, so I got to see you. But then it's like, if I see you, I don't want to take the risk of either one of us. And I'm like, I hate it here. Like I hate it here. Um, you know, now, so if there's a teacher that, you know, if you're, I'm a teacher, but we'll look past me. If there's a teacher right now that's like watching this interview, because there are going to be a lot of teachers watching this interview, I guarantee it. There's going to be a teacher looking at this right now, and they're kind of like lost, and they're like kind of stuck, and they're just like, I feel like I'm doing this. I'm just tired. You know, I don't know what to do to help my students. They're not engaged no more. You know, they're losing it. You know, and you know, I'm losing it. Teachers have, you're a parent, you know, so teachers are at home with their kids are going through it. So besides dealing with your own kids, now you got to deal with maybe 28 other kids that are not even yours, and they're not even there. What do you say to those teachers that are just kind of like stuck right now, and they're just kind of lost, and they're feeling down and depressed, and you know, they just want to scream to the top of their lungs? You know, what would you say to those teachers, and from what has helped you, you know, get through your moments?
I would say to them, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. And you can only do what you can do. So don't feel the pressure to have to meet a guideline. Take time, quality time, and actually open up further than you've ever opened up before with your students. Because one of the main things, one of the reasons why we respect, and if you think about the figures, the public figures, the religious figures, whatever figures you follow and that you like, the reason why you respect them, think of why you respect them. It's because you can relate to them. They're relatable. You can, anything that they say or do, or something that they have come out with, you know, put out there in the atmosphere, you can relate to that some way, shape, or form. That's why our students respect us, is if they can relate to us, if we are relatable, if they know that we are not perfect and that we mess up. And there are days where, because it's okay to mess up, that they feel like, oh, I'm a failure, you're better than me, but that's not the case. We're all in this together. And so my students know there are days where I'm not feeling it. There are days where I don't have a lesson plan. What do y'all want to do? Like or I don't want to do this lesson plan today. How about let's go around the room and let's do an exercise. Let's do an improv game. Let's do a scavenger hunt. That's one of my favorite things to do. Do a scavenger hunt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you write down like 6 things on a piece of paper. You write down those 6 things and you set a timer and you said, okay, the only way you can win this, you have to have your camera on because I have to see that you have these items. Okay. And whoever wins gets a free homework pass. And so you write down items that they would have in their house. So toothpaste, something that starts or has a letter Q in it, paper towel, a spoon, a coffee mug, and something blue. Just 6 things, okay? And you say, go, and you hold it up like this, and they're coming back, and they're running, and they're like, oh, do I have, what's that? Oh, okay. Like they're running, and they're like, no, I don't know, what's Q? Oh, Q-tip, oh, okay. Like they're running, they're trying to get these items because they want a free homework pass, right? And it's hilarious, and it's fun, and it's engaging, and it gets them up and moving, and it gives you, do something that makes you laugh with them, right? It give yourself some time to laugh.
Because, well, I mean, for any teachers that's watching or listening, hey, you just got a new game, incorporate it, go for it.
Great kid.
So, so I'm actually gonna kick it to the opposite side now. What are
Okay.
you saying to a student that might be looking at this? That might be like, listen, tell the students about what the teachers are going through because they may not understand what you guys are going through because they just, it's I always like to give both perspectives. I'm never like the type to be like, oh, what would you just say to the no, because they're gonna be students watching this as well. So for those students who don't understand what you guys go through every day, like what would you say to them?
I would say to them, despite what you may see or what your teacher may not be telling you, because there's so many unspoken things, um, your teachers care and they want to do more for you than you realize. They want to be there with you and get you up and get you engaged, and they want to be able to be in person with you, but they can't. And they don't know how to communicate all of this. Not all of us are great communicators. They're being pulled in multiple different directions. It's not just one knot in the middle of one rope. It's a whole spider web of things. And they're trying to make the administrators happy. They're trying to make the parents happy. They're trying to stick to COVID guidelines. They're trying to define their program or their curriculum and what they're having to do. They're having to think outside the box, but at the same time, still love what they do, still engage with you, still engage with the class and try to get some kind of normalcy. But just as you, the student, is burned out and you're tired and you don't want to do this and you're over it, they are too. But
That's deep,
they have no choice but to keep going.
right? And that's deep because when you say like they're over it too, they just think like, no, they just doing this so they can get money, and
You're
it's
gonna be preaching.
right. I was gonna.
What if
That's
I don't
yeah.
know what teacher doesn't have a side gig. I'm just gonna say.
Right. And and so, you know, um I guess I guess I'm gonna try to close out in this. I know I don't like to always end out. I always like to end out on a positive note. And no, we're not gonna do a TikTok. I will not prank you with a TikTok. I promise. Because that'd be like the one thing, and it's like, boom, you're like, wait, what is this? What is this? Another TikTok? Nah, I promise it's not a TikTok.
Okay.
But I actually want to end it more on a serious note because you've now talked to the teachers, you told the students about the teachers. What about that student now who's in that depression mode? They are lost. They're going through their own thing. But so now the student that's sitting there, they don't know what to do. They don't want to talk to nobody. What do you say to them? And if you do have something that may help them get through it, if you have like an activity or something, some type of advice, please, this is the floor. This is the last question. Like this is your moment to shine. Go for, I promise once again, this is not a TikTok, but by all means, like leave it all on the floor for those students because I feel like they need.
So I like to do the exercise 10, 10, and 10. So you make 3 lists of 10 and you write it down. The first 10 things are the 10 things around you, just listing 10 things around you that bring you joy, things that you like. So for right now, my son left this up here. But it normally will bring me joy, but I'm not gonna eat it because it brings him joy, is a Reese's cup. Okay, that's right here in front of me. And a candle, that brings me joy, right? So you list the 10 things in front of you or around you in your space that bring you joy. Then you list 10 things that normally bring you joy that you like to do. So going to dinner with your friends, or going and watching a movie, or doing TikToks, or cooking dinner with mom, whatever it is, right? Hey, 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 hey. Thank you. So you list those 10 things that you like to do that bring you joy. Then you list your 10 items on your bucket list that in the future that you would love to do to bring you joy. Those things, the 10, 10, and 10. At the end of that, and you're looking at 30 things that do and can bring you joy. Focus on those. Focus on all of those positives, and you just take one day at a time, one step at a time. That's one of the main things that I tell my kids to do. And the kids that may be going through depression, because I have several students that have before and still do go through that. A lot of what their depression stems from is anxiety. Anxiety, they have so much to do. There's so much on their plate. I've got this work from this class and this work from this class and this work from this class. I tell them, okay, make a list, visually write it down, because there's something that connects with the visual in your mind about, okay, if I make a list and I'm organized and it's writing down, I can see what it is, because it might not be as much as with the weight that you're putting it on your head, in your head. So write it down and only do one of those at a time. Forget around about the rest, just focus on one. And if the rest of them don't get done today, they don't get done. But if you communicate to your teacher and you communicate to the people around you, hey, I'm doing what I can. That's what matters. The communication. Just do what you can. You can only do what you can do.
And I want to say thank you. Thank you for your public service, because this is a public service job. We always try to say it's always the police officers, the doctors. Nah, teachers are part of the public service, and you guys, I'm not gonna say you get paid. I'm gonna say you guys volunteer a lot of your time that's not even necessary, and if nobody's told you that we appreciate you, I appreciate you. This is coming from a parent, and it's deeper than just a podcast. Like, I didn't just bring you up here because of a viral moment, but the way I saw the joy in your eyes that you guys had that moment, I was like, she gets it, and so I definitely wanted you to share that, with my audience, maybe some of those who may not know the backstory to you that's going to watch this as well from your school. I think just speaking for everybody, they'll enjoy it, and I appreciate you. Is there any way that, people can find you on TikTok, on Instagram? How can these people follow you?
Yeah, so TikTok is Miss Pack. I have several different names. My students call me. They call me Ms. Zampach, but then Ms. Z is the number one, but Miss Pack is another one. So MSPACK, that's my TikTok handle, and then my art page on Instagram. I also have my personal Instagram, which I'm open to because why not, right? Miss Z 1852.
Okay.
And so I don't have Twitter. Maybe I need to get Twitter.
You might want to, because I tell you one thing: if you go in there and you claim, "Oh my God, that's my class," it's gonna go right through the roof. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you might have to go do it. So
I'll be Miss Pack on Twitter.
there you go. I'm telling you, like, and people catch on so quick to Twitter. It's so funny, but Twitter is like the funniest place in the world. But when I say the internet wins, Twitter is the place where the internet wins all the time. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So, but well, once again, thank you so much. And for you guys that's out there listening or watching, Mr. I Am Digital or Digitally Interrupted, and we're here every Thursday. So we'll see you guys next Thursday, and you guys have a great one. Appreciate it.
You are now listening to the number one podcast.
You have been Digitally Interrupted.
Mr. I Am Digital.